young at heart, but we're still dreaming, eyes wide open. We'll leave this place behind, no matter what they say. Yeah, 'cause we're stronger than iron. We won't let them break us down. Now we're heading over the clouds, 'cause we're walking on air, walking on air, getting high over the surface, walking on air. Yeah, we're walking on air.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another Let's Talk episode here on YouTube. Well, today we are talking about the 2020 Shelby GT500. Now, last episode we talked about the 2020 Supra. Today we're taking it a step up a notch in the sense of power. Very excited to be talking about the car. It was just revealed last week at the Detroit Auto Show. So let's jump right into everything that you need to know about the 2020 Ford GT500. So starting out, we are going to discuss the biggest impact of them all. And that is that initially, when this car got leaked, we thought that the 2020 would come with a 10-speed automatic single clutch gearbox. However, Ford went balls to the wall, and I absolutely love it. So instead, they are going with a 7-speed dual clutch tranny from Tremec. Now, if you don't know the difference between a single clutch and a dual clutch, with the single clutch transmission, you lose the ability to shift instantaneously like you would, say, per a manual. When you hit the flap, whatever you want to call it, the paddle shifter, it takes just a little bit of time before it actually upshifts or downshifts. Now with a dual clutch, it will shift instantaneously, which is absolutely awesome. Ford claims that it shifts in under 100 milliseconds, which is absolutely insane. Now, you might say, well, Zane, you just talked about the Supra not being an automatic, so why are you okay with the Ford being an automatic? Well, yes, I want a manual option because I love driving a manual car. But at the end of the day, this car is designed for the track. This car is designed for straight speed. The Supra is not. The Supra is designed to be a street car. So that is the difference between this car, and that is why I am completely okay with Ford going with this option, and I am not upset with it at all. Huge surprise to people, including myself, and so far the results and the talk on it has been extremely positive, so super happy about that. Under the hood, you have a 5.2 liter V8, which is not naturally aspirated. It actually has accompanied with it a 2.6 liter Eaton supercharger with 12 pounds of boost. Well, I shouldn't say with, but coming with the supercharger is 12 pounds of boost. And it actually has forged internals, which is awesome because it's going to allow the motor to really withstand all the power that is being put to it. That's another huge move by Ford, and it's much appreciated. So great job on that as well, Ford Performance. The one downside to the car so far that people have been talking about, and I myself think, is it's 3,900 pounds, which that is quite a lot of weight for a track car. A little bit more than, you would want, but what can you do? You got to have some weight to the car, so 3,900 is a little bit more, but it is what it is. And when I say track car, this car is not specifically designed for the track straight out, like you can drive it on the streets, just clarifying that. But most people who are going to take this car or who are going to buy this car are going to have it on a track, at least in some point, and that's what Ford was going with. Now, going back to track car, the previous GT500 was mainly a drag car, mainly used for straight lines, and it was terrible on the track due to a solid rear axle. But with this year's build, they really changed it up, and they did something different. Like, when you talk about the Dodge Demon, the Hellcat, those are cars with insane horsepower numbers, but once again, they're built for a straight line. They're not built for cornering and built for maneuverability. Well, Ford designed this car specifically for maneuverability, which is awesome. And once again, Ford has killed it on this build, I will say. The more research that I've done on it, I've been extremely impressed with the way that Ford has done it. Ford has designed this car specifically to take a Hellcat on the strip, but yet also be able to take a Camaro Z01 1LE on the track. So definitely a nice thing there. So Ford is offering a few aero configurations for this car as well. If you get a handling package, it brings a gurney flap for the rear wing, while the carbon fiber track package adds two-way adjustable wing similar to that used on the GT4 race car. And the hood vent is the largest of any Ford ever. Now there's also an aluminum rain tray underneath that, and when removed, reduces further under hood pressure. So Ford really went all out to go give you the ultimate track build with that carbon fiber package. Ford also went with 20-inch wheels this year on the GT500, previous to 19 on the 2019 versions, which allow, obviously, to get more tire on the ground. Because of this, some of the suspension geometry and tuning had to be adjusted. Now, as standard with the car, you're going to get Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, which are a good balance between road and track. However, if you decide to get the carbon fiber package, it gives you Michelin Pilot Sport Club 2S's, which allow, it's a much more track tire and a much more grippier tire. Along with the carbon fiber package comes the carbon fiber wheels. Now, that is a huge weight topic right there, because Ford going from a 19-inch to a 20-inch, obviously you're like, well, what about the added weight? And, you know, that's not that much weight, but when it comes to a track, that differentiates a lot. Well, with the carbon fiber package, you now get carbon fiber wheels, which I think is extremely cool and extremely smart, and it also allows you to cut that extra weight out of the motor. Sorry, out of the wheel. So definitely another plus there for Ford. Also, now if you're wondering what I'm reading from here, it's I made a whole list of all the changes, and I'm just reading from my own notes here. So I can't remember all this. So if you're wondering what I'm looking at, that's what I'm looking at. Also, in allowing to go for bigger wheels meant that Ford also can now fit bigger brakes. So now there are 16.5-inch two-piece steel rotors with 6-piston calipers up front and 14.6-inch rotors with 4-piston calipers in the back, which, once again, that is another nice upgrade. Ford really went all out on this build. I keep saying it, but it is true. It's a very impressive car. Now, I would say the biggest surprise behind the transmission is the new suspension that you get with the GT500. So initially, we thought that the car was going to get the Multimatic DSSV shocks, which are used on the Ford GT and the Camaro Z01. But Ford went with the new Magnetic Ride instead, like those used on the GT350. Now, Magnetic Ride allows for 1,000 adjustments per second, plus they can communicate with the car's powertrain and braking systems. I have a buddy with a Camaro who has magnetic suspension, and he is extremely in love with it, so I can definitely see where these new magnetic shocks are really going to take a huge leap for Ford on the track. So once again, great move by Ford. Now, overall, we do not know a lot about the GT500 yet. No official specs have truly been released, other than it's going to offer over 700 horsepower. My guess is in the 720, 730 range. It's going to have 0 to 60 runs in the mid 3 seconds, which I think 0 to 60 runs are overrated, but either way, that's still impressive. And it should be a sub 11 second quarter mile. But the one thing that we know for sure is the car is going to sound amazing. Now, talking about the looks of the car, it looks what you would expect. It looks like a Shelby, a Ford, but it looks great. I love the added flair to the GT500 is what separates it from that massive hood vent on the front to the big spoiler on the back, the massive carbon brakes. It's truly just a beautiful, beautiful car. The quad exhaust out the back, it just looks a lot more aggressive than the base models, as come per expected, obviously. And it looks great, but once again, it still looks like a Mustang, and that's kind of that's been my only drawback with Ford. Is there's really, like, you can see differences, but once again, it still looks like a Mustang. But what are you gonna do? Lastly, the price, we're not 100% sure yet, but it's going to be listed between $75,000 and $80,000, which is honestly very impressive. If you look at the ZR1 of Corvette, you're looking at a car over $100,000 with roughly the same performance package levels. So you're getting a hell of a car for a very good price. 75, 80K is not a lot for a car that produces this much horsepower with this much suspension, this much grip, a fully built track car. That's very, very, very impressive. So that's really all I have to say on this Let's Talk episode about the GT500. Initially, when I saw it released, I wasn't impressed with it. I thought it was just going to be another Ford. Doing some more research, I honestly fell in love with it. I think it's going to be a fantastic car. You're definitely going to get your money's worth, which I'm still sort of up in the air with the Supra. Supra, $50,000 is not a lot for a Supra if you think about what you're going to get for it, but paying $50,000 for a stock Supra is kind of pricey. But obviously for $20,000 more, you can get an unreal track car. So I guess it just depends on what you like. You know, are you JDM? Are you muscle? I like everything, so that's just me. But either way, that is going to wrap it up for today's Let's Talk episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I truly, truly appreciate it, as always. Let me know what you guys think of the GT500 in your comments section down below. I'm dying to hear your opinions because I'm only one person. I can only think so much. Let me know what you guys think down below. We are going to end it right here. Subscribe, hit that like button. Peace out, and remember, you create your own story.